Lost Ark is directed by Steven Spielberg, written by George Lucas, and stars Harrison Ford as the man himself. Where's my hat? In 1936, archaeologist and adventurer Indiana Jones is hired by the U.S. government to find the Ark of the Covenant before the Nazis can attain its awesome powers. I said attain instead of obtain. It says obtain its awesome powers. Whatever. I made like a huge review. It was like an hour long for this movie, and it was too long, so I just scrapped that, and I'm gonna try to make like a 5-minute review, and I'm gonna review every single movie up until Dial of Destiny. So expect Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull very soon. Let's start with Raiders of the Lost Ark, and in my opinion, this movie is one of the greatest adventure movies ever made. I've seen it so many times. It never fails to impress me, and it's just absolutely incredible. It's fantastic. Has one of the best openings ever, where he's this mysterious figure, and then you just see him come into the camera, and it's one of the best openings ever. And then after that, they humanize him a little bit with the snakes, and the whole scene with the classroom and all that stuff, and they have some humor in there. And I'm going to start off in this movie with the performances. I think that Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones may just be my favorite character of all time, possibly. He's such an incredible character with his hat. He's just such a cool dude, but he's not like a god. He's a normal person. That's what I love. You can relate to him. And in this movie, it's just one of the best arcs for a character from the beginning to the end. And every scene he's in is so entertaining and just riveting. In this movie, that's the definition of this movie. The entire thing is entertaining. It's riveting. There's so much tension, and it's so much of a mystery too about the Ark and finding the Ark and everything that goes into that. It's incredible, and I loved that about this movie. And the stunts in this movie are also incredible. It's mind-blowing. They're just too good. Like, this movie, it's such a classic, and the stunts are crazy. It's insane. Like, you see this guy like fall all the way from the top of like a huge hill, and he just like goes tumbling down. Especially in the truck chase, which is one of my favorite action sequences in film history. It's so good, and every single thing about that scene is fire and so much tension, and it's riveting, and how everyone's trying to get into the truck, but then he just kicks them out. And Mary is also a fun character. I don't know if the performance is outstanding, but it still was pretty good for the character she was actually playing, because I don't know if that's the performance or that's actually what the character is. I think it's what the character is, because the direction here is outstanding. It's mind-blowing. It's insane. I love it so much. How do you direct a movie this good? Literally every single scene is so important and riveting and exciting, and there's not a single dull or slow moment in this movie. When people are having conversations, the conversations, number one, are interesting, and they're just so fascinating, and all the mythology in this movie is incredible, mixed with the score for this movie. It's mind-blowing. I am so passionate about this movie because it's too good. The conversations are incredible, but then the action sequences and all of the fun adventure sequences in this movie are incredible. From the truck chase to the scene where he's just getting chased by Belloc's people, to the scene where they're just on the boat and he's just like, he is dressing up like that, and it's just so much tension. And there are so many scenes like that in this movie. And then the end of this movie is so good. I don't want to spoil it, but it's incredible. And there's so much blood and gore. Spielberg just doesn't hold back on the blood and gore in this movie, because there are some crazy scenes where he's just fighting this big naked guy. The blood just splatters everywhere from the helicopter. And so many of those scenes, especially near the end, oh my God, it's so crazy. I adore Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think it's an incredible adventure movie. I love all the performances. The characters are great. And there are so many sequences in Raiders of the Lost Ark that are just mind-blowing. And that's pretty much every single sequence, because there's literally not a dull moment in this movie. And that's why I think it's one of the best movies ever made. I don't know if it's a perfect movie, because some elements like the CGI and the green screen effects don't hold up, but that's because this one was really one of the first ones to invent that. And maybe like some of the dialogue or maybe some of the special effects don't hold up, but most of this movie is practical effects, and all of it, and it's so cool, the stunts, and it's one of the first movies to do this. So I can't say it doesn't hold up, because literally it doesn't have to, because it literally started. It was one of the ones to start it, so that's kind of unfair to this movie. And there's not a single dull or slow moment in this movie, and I just adore the whole freaking thing. Look out for my review of Temple of Doom. I know these are pretty quick reviews, but they're not new releases, so I feel like new releases will get longer reviews, because you get it. But yeah, this movie, incredible. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, that's a crime against humanity. You should be ashamed of yourself. No, just kidding. You're awesome. But yeah, see you soon.